welcome to episode 8 of the Kori J podcast. We had some breaking news happen today, with the Jimmy Butler trade, being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. But before we get into that, let me introduce my guests. We got Ill Will here joining the show, and Chris the God joining the podcast. So we're just going to jump right into it. Huge news in the NBA with Jimmy Butler being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. The trade included Robert Covington and Dario Saric, and also a second-round pick from the 76ers being traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Jimmy Butler and Robert Patton. So, what was it, Justin Patton? Justin Patton. And I think this is definitely a trade that's going to shift the landscape of the NBA, at least in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to start here. Chris the guy, you want to start off? What are your thoughts on just the reaction of the trade, and how do you think it's going to affect each of the teams?
Yeah, I think it should give the 76ers a boost. They were really playing lackluster basketball. I really didn't like them giving up Saric because I thought he was one of their last good outside shooters. But what you get back in return with Jimmy, the hustle, the effort, the grit, the leadership, I think they're probably going to be much better off.
You think so? Okay. And how do you think it's going to, what about Timberwolves side? You think it's going to help them as a team, or did they get a good deal in return?
I think it's going to help them as far as getting some of the negativity out of the locker room. So maybe the other players will be a little bit more optimistic about playing free basketball and just doing things their way. Yeah. And kind of following behind Derrick Rose's lead also.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, what about you, Elmo?
You know what I like? I love the trade from Philly side. You get a defensive player of the year candidate, a possible MVP candidate with Jimmy Butler. Like Stephen A. said, he's a dog. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to hold Ben Simmons and Embiid accountable. Just like he challenged Karl-Anthony Towns. If Simmons and Embiid is not working in practice and stuff and not working on the floor, I think Jimmy is going to say something. You know what I'm saying? And he's proven that he would do it, in the past. So I think he'll do it in this situation. I don't think Philly lost that much with Covington and Sarge. I mean, Sarge was having a slow start to this season. Last year, Sarge was excellent. This year, he was, for some reason, he's slow start, and I think this is perfect. I think this puts Philly right under Boston, like as the number 2 team in the East, with possibility of being, they can defeat Boston now with Jimmy. As far as from Minnesota perspective, I like it for them. I don't think they got enough. I wish they would have got a first round pick included as well. But I think Karl-Anthony Towns needed this because now he can really play free. And then I like what you said about Derrick. I think Derrick Rose and Wiggins benefits also, where they don't have to be looking over their shoulder, wondering what Jimmy thinks and all that stuff, and just the uncertainty of, is this guy going to be with us for the rest of the season? That's gone now. And I think Sarge is going to be a great fit in Minnesota. He's going to be like their stretch forward, give him somebody who can shoot. And then Covington can be like a poor man's Jimmy Butler. So Minnesota might not fall as far as people think they will, but I love it from Philly side.
Do you guys think Minnesota can still push for the playoffs, or do you think they never had a chance anyway this season?
I think they should easily be an 8th seed. Easily? Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I say either 8th or 9th seed, because the West is so tough. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs, but if Sarge can come in and Covington can come in and fit with their culture that they already have and do what Till is asking, I think they can make the 8th seed,
We've already seen what Sarge can do in the playoffs. I mean, they almost beat Boston because of him last year. Yeah. He played better than Ben Simmons in the Boston series.
That's what he did.
So he's clutch. He's not afraid of the moment. He wants the ball. And he gets more offensive rebounds than a lot of people think.
True.
I
That
mean,
is true.
I was really impressed with the guy. And we already know what Charles Barkley thinks of Sarge. He's always hanging on Sarge, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big time. Charles Barkley loves Sarge.
But yeah, my thoughts on the trade, I do think it's kind of a win-win for both sides to me. I think considering the circumstances, T-Wolves did a decent job of getting some, decent value in return in Dario Saric, who I think is the better long-term asset than Robert Covington. Although Covington was first team all defense last year, and he's sort of a 3-and-D prototype guy that you really need in the league. I think it was a decent return. Jimmy was on a 1-year deal, and he was going to be a free agent at the end of the summer anyway. So for those circumstances, I think Timberwolves did a good job. For the Sixers, I think they definitely need to make a move. Everybody was talking about the Raptors, the Bucks, and the Celtics, fighting for the Eastern throne. And the Sixers was kind of at the on the outside looking in, like what are we gonna do? So I definitely think, with the new GM Elton Brand of the 76ers, this is his first deal that he did. So that's a pretty good deal to get Jimmy Butler in your first trade, So they got their big three now. It's been reported by Adrian Wojnarowski that Jimmy was willing to sign long term with the Sixers. Now he can't do it this year. This season, they would have to wait till the summertime, so a lot could change from now to then. But it seems like he's on board with committing long term. And honestly, I think that's what Jimmy cared about all along, getting that max deal and making sure he get his max hours.
But that's a good nugget you said about him agreeing to sign. So I agree with what you said now about getting the first round pick.
Yeah,
if you know he's going to sign, you need to get a first round pick.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but it seems like Jimmy's on board with what the Sixers are trying to build there. They got their star trio of Ben and Embiid and Jimmy now, and
trio.
I'm still not certain about Fultz and how he's going to fit in that. My one concern about the trade is the floor spacing that the Sixers are going to have as far as 3-point shooting. They lost Robert Covington, they lost Sarge, guys that are capable 3-point shooters. Now you get Jimmy back, but
Jimmy's shooting over 50% this year from three.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's accurate.
That's an awesome percent. I'm like,
I know Derrick Rose is shooting about 60% from three, but Jimmy has shot really well against the Lakers, but outside the Lakers, he's shooting about 8 for 20, I think around 33%. We gotta look that up. In fact,
you gotta be on the same course though with Covington though. Like as far as percentage, they gotta be probably the same.
Yeah.
So you don't lose nothing there, but you do lose something with Sarge going.
Yeah. So I think that they're one consistent 3-point shooter, JJ Redick. You know what I'm saying? We know Jimmy is capable of knocking off 3 or 4 threes in a row, but I just have a question mark with the Sixers as far as their spacing and their fit together with Jimmy, needing the ball now. He's different than Covington and Sarge. Those guys didn't really demand the ball. They just kind of played their role and, flow within the offense. But now with Jimmy Butler there, he's another guy that can create his own shot and, sort of get you a bucket when you need a bucket. So I do think it's good for them. I think that adds a closer to the team. I don't think Ben Simmons.
They didn't have a closer besides Embiid.
Exactly.
And it's hard for a 7-footer, to hit that game-winning shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is perfect. If everybody can match with their attitudes and their egos, like they can be number 1 or number 2, like in the East.
For sure.
I don't think this puts them over like Golden State, but
no, I don't think it's Golden State and then the rest of the league is down here. So we all know Golden State is in the world of their own. But let's analyze those Eastern rankings a little bit. Where does this trade move the Sixers in your opinion? Does it put them at the top of the Eastern Conference now, or are they in a conversation with the other teams like the Raptors, Celtics, and Bucks? What do you think?
Which team?
Do you think the Sixers are in their conversation now after this trade, or are they at the top, or
I still think they're around number 4 right now because you can't put them ahead of Milwaukee, Toronto, or Boston right now. You can't put them ahead of Milwaukee, Toronto, or Boston right now until you see how well they gel together. Milwaukee's doing. I saw the game they had the other day against Golden State. Man, wow.
I believe it puts them at worst number 3, and at best number 2. They're like in the 2 or 3 seed in my opinion with this trade. I'm not a big believer in Milwaukee. I am not. No, because and I was proven right. In the regular season, they're going to be a great team, but Giannis is not going to be able to play like he's playing now in the playoffs. Like as far as clearing out and taking everybody one-on-one, like you get clamped down on in the playoffs, like and it's going to be tougher. Like he's still going to get his numbers, but it's going to be a tough 25 points, a tough 26 points. Milwaukee doesn't have any outside shooting. You got your center out there taking 3-pointers.
Brooklyn's head down. Chris Middleton,
Brooke and Chris Middleton.
The guy from Portland, Pat
Huntington,
that
whatever.
guy.
He had
That
that
guy-
was a fluky game.
no, Malcolm Brogdon.
Well, he had
got
15
capable
points.
shooters.
I just think I don't see any improvement in Milwaukee from last year. I don't see how they're going to be different from last year. Like, I don't. I see my rankings are Boston number 1, Toronto's number 2. Then I would go with the new improved Philly, and then I would put Milwaukee right there for
Okay. I would say I think they're in the mix now. Before they were kind of on the outside looking in, but I think this trade puts them in the conversation. For me, number 1 would be the Toronto Raptors.
Number 1 over Boston?
Yes, I got the Toronto Raptors as the best team in Eastern Conference as of today. People forget, they were the number 1 seed last year, not the Boston Celtics.
I forgot
We
too.
keep forgetting how good the Raptors team is. Let me give some credit to some of their guys that improve. Pascal Siakam has been really good this year, and playing his role. He's been kind of starting and swapping with Serge Ibaka on that team. But I think the addition of Kawhi Leonard, he's an upgrade over DeRozan Rosen, in my opinion.
Lowry too.
And Lowry's been playing out of his mind this year.
Out of his mind.
I think last I checked, he was averaging around 11 assists, a lead in the league in assists. So for him to take that next step with losing his best friend DeRozan, I think that's great. He's seen to take his game to the next level. So to me, the Raptors are the number 1 team in the East as of right now. Second, I would go with the Boston Celtics out of respect for they have one of the best coaches in the league, Brad Stevens, and they still have a lot of talent with Kyrie Irving. He seems to be getting himself together in the recent games. But my concern with Boston is their wing guys. It seems there's a conflict with Gordon Hayward. He's not quite the same yet.
He can't defend.
Yeah, he's not the
They
same.
were going to him every
seen
time.
So I think it's a logjam with Boston with Hayward, Tatum, and Brown. As we can see, Brown and Tatum are struggling to start the season.
Yeah, they are.
Tatum is shooting 40% from the field.
Smart too. He's not playing.
Yeah,
well.
and Brown is shooting around 39% from the field, only averaging 11 points. So Boston got to figure it out on
Somebody
offense.
got to go. That's what it is. Somebody got to go.
Right now, they're at the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency. So they got to figure out something on the offensive end to make all those guys gel. But I'll still give them 2 for now, just out of respect for what they did last year. Third, I would put the Sixers. I think I do respect the Bucks and what they're doing with their new head coach, Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're the same team as last year, like you said, with the playoffs. I think it was easier to game plan against them with Jason Kidd. They didn't have a coach; they had an interim coach. Remember?
And you didn't mention nothing about their coach. That's what
So I think
noticed.
Budenholzer was going to make them tougher to game plan for. But I still put the Sixers ahead of them just because they have too much star power, I think, with Embiid, Simmons, and now Jimmy Butler coming there. So that's going to be a formidable trio to deal with in the Eastern Conference. But what are you guys' reaction to you guys?
Their star power is greater than Giannis in your mind?
Their trio, yes. Their trio star power is better than anything the Bucks have to offer other than Giannis. You got Chris Middleton. And who's the third best player?
Maybe Bledsoe. Maybe.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
I think Giannis is that great.
Have you seen Embiid too? I mean, I think
Embiid
Embiid
is at least matching Giannis right now. If not
Matching
exceeding him.
Giannis?
Yes.
I think
Embiid has had some crazy games this year.
He put up 40 and 20. Like, man,
Embiid is.
listen,
he improved. I
in
don't
my
see it from
opinion,
being, but
I do think Giannis having a great year, but Embiid is right there on the borderline MVP conversation too. Like,
I agree with that.
He's still Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and I just think that trio. It's hard to beat that trio in the East, man. With Simmons,
he just be talking massive. He back it up.
yeah,
he
backs.
fucking
I mean,
them centers, dude.
you see what he did to Andre Drummond, man. Drummond is a
head.
stud of a center.
He's been killing this year. His numbers been crazy.
He put it on.
Except when he played me.
Yeah.
Man.
So I think we gotta start talking about Embiid as one of the MVP candidates. But
I agree with that.
I think they're gonna be formidable, and I wouldn't be. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into who's gonna make the Eastern Conference Finals yet. I got to see a little bit more. but they're definitely in the conversation. I think those are clearly the 4 teams.
Yeah, that's true.
But let me take this chance to talk about one of the poor teams, the Washington Wizards. Man,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with
The
those guys.
underperforming.
It's so disappointing. They got a lot of talent with John Wall, Bradley Beal,
Very talented.
and now Dwight Howard joined the team. But I think they got 2-9 record or something like that at the bottom of the Eastern Conference when the East is open this year. It's just so disappointing to see those guys play at that level when you know they're better than what they're playing at. But do you guys think they need to make a trade too? Are they next to move one of their star players? What do you guys think they need to do?
I think if they can, but I don't think so. If they can move Otto Porter in that contract, I would do it because he's too up and down. He's inconsistent because you got John Wall handling the ball most of the time, and if he's not handling, then Bradley Beal. So they're not even using Porter to the best of his abilities, in my opinion. So you might as well see if you can get something for him. And then I also think Scott Brooks, he needs to go. You know, I don't think he's the coach for that team. I think they need somebody who's going to demand. They need a disciplinarian, like somebody who's going to. I don't know who that guy is, but they need a disciplinarian. I don't think Scott Brooks is the guy for the team.
What do you think about the Wizards' curse?
This shows me that court top was more important than everybody. No, I'm just joking. But
He's getting coach's decisions in LA right now.
oh my god, man! I don't. Oh god, this is the greatest mystery in the NBA to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Scott Brooks he used to be a great coach. I don't know. He was on the precipice to the finals with
That's
the
when
Thunder.
you got Durant and a prime Westbrook. I mean, that'll make you look good. And a James Harden, man.
Why didn't it work with
And
Billy
a
Donovan?
young
then?
Serge
I don't-
Ibaka, man.
Yeah. Well,
That was more about them.
Washington, the point to Otto Porter, I think Otto Porter is like he reminds me of a Spur, a
Yeah.
Popovich type of guy.
Yeah.
He would fit well with that team.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you
I
said, they're using him wrong.
They not using them.
They treating him like a superstar. That's not what he is. He's a road to mid level all-star type player. You know,
He's a Rudy Gay.
A Rudy
He's a
Gay.
Rudy Gay.
He's a Rudy Gay, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So y'all think? Do y'all think Wall and Bradley Beal can go as this long term?
no way.
I think we've already seen their ceiling. You know what I'm saying? With the
Exactly.
Wizards. So what do
But
you
you
do?
know
Do
what?
you just continue to ride those two guys?
If I had to get rid of one, it'll be John Wall.
Yeah.
I agree.
It would be
I
John
agree
Wall.
also.
The
If
thing with
somebody could take him, but
yeah, that's the thing with John Wall. His contract is ridiculous
Yeah.
based off the way he's playing. He's going to be
Exactly.
$40 million a year, starting in the next couple of years.
I
So
could see New York doing it, but
maybe, yeah, you're right. Especially with
Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't know.
Yeah, but John Wall's got a tough contract to trade, so I think Beal is definitely the more attractive asset, but I don't know what the Wizards are going to do. They got to figure out something to get out the bottom of the league. What they're at right now.
Talent. The Morris brother, one of the Morris.
Yeah.
but if I'm a
They
playoff
got a
team,
whip,
I would go
man.
after Oubre. I like Oubre.
like Oubre?
Man. He's
Yeah,
tough.
I like him too.
He's
Yeah.
tough.
Right now, the
I
only
agree
team with the worst record in the Wizards is the Cavaliers. So
Oh my goodness.
they got one more win than the
That's
Cavs.
horrible, man.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? It's embarrassing. So if you're a Wizards fan, I'm sorry for you, but they need to figure out something to get that team back on track. But
You know, I see the Rockets recovering because first I was concerned about Houston, but I see they got James back, and then Chris came back out to getting stole on, and so I'm not concerned about them anymore.
well, I got one concern with Houston. Carmelo he's washed, man. I hate to say it, but
yeah, that's unfortunate.
he's not gonna fit. He's not fitting with Houston. I think Houston is a lot worse than last year. I don't think they're going to be as good in the playoffs, in particular, with the loss of
agree with that. I
Ariza
agree
and Bahamute. But Melo he's capable of giving you 20 every once in a while, but his defense is just so bad that teams kill him every single time. They go out to Melo every single time. So I think Houston's got a lot to figure out as well. They did hire their defensive
coordinator.
assistant back to try to help fix the team, but they just don't have the same personnel that they had last year. So
Well, maybe they could
I don't
swing a
think-
trade with the Wizards and try to get Porter.
Yeah.
Porter
You
could.
know who they need? They
be
need
like
Covington.
a-
They need Robert Covington.
Yeah.
They need Covington.
I thought they
Rockets, man.
I thought they could have got Jimmy Butler, but
You know.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
have been
with
great.
them losing on Jimmy, they're in a tough situation now. Who's out there that they could help fix this team, at least defensively? We know they still got Chris Paul and Harden, but I just think the window's closed with Houston Rockets, and
I agree with that.
I don't expect much for them this
I
year.
agree.
But we're gonna move along from the NBA. We had some very exciting college play start this season with Duke, aka the Monstars. So you know, we all know the hype that Zion Williamson has had coming to Duke, and I was really surprised that they were ranked the number 4 team before that first game against
really?
Kentucky.
I thought
They were ranked number 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Kentucky
number
was
2.
ranked number 2 in the preseason
that's
rankings.
right. Okay,
So
I had it
I don't
back.
know what the hell they were thinking with that. But what are you guys' first impressions from seeing
So
them
who's
guys?
ranked number 1 then?
I think it was Kansas.
Oh yeah,
Kansas
they had
ranked
a good showing that same
Yeah.
night, I believe. Eh?
Yeah, they won that game. So, you guys' thoughts on Duke or any college team or players you've seen so far?
Well, I'll say this about Duke: if they don't win it this year, it'll be like a disappointment. It'll probably be one of the biggest disappointments since UNLV didn't repeat. Like something to that degree. Like if they don't win it this year, so I think it's pretty much written. Just like people look at the NBA and say, "Well, Golden State should at least win it or be in the finals." I think Duke should definitely be in the Final Four minimum, or it's a disappointment, and it'll be an indictment on Coach K. Like, what you think, Kurt?
Definitely, I totally agree with you. When I watched that first game, I saw UNLV. I saw the running Rebels. Zion was Larry Johnson.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
and
That is true, man.
people forget when Larry Johnson was in college, he had the 3-pointer. They both about the same height.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
6'6" power forwards, and man, super strong, can handle the ball. I think Zion got better handles than
Yeah, I
LJ.
agree.
He's a huge. He's 280 pounds right
He's
now.
280, man, and he's explosive. Like
He's a
his
lefty
hip-
that uses right
He's
just
got
as
extras.
good
Yeah.
when he's near the rim.
finish
So
with the
you rarely see that from a lefty. So this guy, oh my God, if he is not the first pick, I would think the franchise who chooses anybody over him is a goddamn fool.
Yeah.
We spoke earlier about RJ Barrett. He's a great scorer. The guy, a lot of people. Jay Billis keeps saying he sees James Harden.
Yeah.
And I mean, they both can get to the basket pretty much the same. But I think that James Harden has way better handles. His shot is a more pure shot, and his game is just more silky smoother than RJ Barrett's, to me, in my opinion.
Okay. First, let me just talk about Zion. He's a special talent. I've never seen a guy that big. He's 280 pounds. Like, you guys realize if he was in the NBA, he would be the second heaviest player in the league behind Boban Marjanovic, who's the 7'4" center
for
for
the
the
Clippers.
Clippers.
Oh,
Right? I think he's around 300 pounds. But Zion will be the second biggest guy in the NBA.
Heavy.
What's the
He's-
market?
He's on. I think the
gotta
market's
be
about
close.
270.
Yeah, he lost weight.
So he's
too.
around there, but
Okay.
damn, this dude is huge. He's explosive. Just a freak. I think he got a 45, 50-inch vert.
45-inch.
50-inch vert, whatever it is, at that size. So it's just kind of scary to see the potential of what he could be. But I got to give some credit to RJ Barrett, too. I think he's going to be really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the number 1 pick as well with his skill set. And I get what you're saying with the comparison to James Harden right now, but I think he was a better college player than what James Harden was when he was in college.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And people forget James Harden started his career as a 6th man.
That's true.
With the Thunder, he wasn't exactly a top 5 pick, superstar player that we project RJ Barrett to be. So I think Duke, man, like you said, they should win the championship this year easily. The talent that they have, and Coach K at the coaching spot. And also a guy we haven't really talked about, Cam Reddish. He was one of the top recruits in his class as well, along with Zion and RJ Barrett. So they just have a superstar trio. I think Cam Reddish could be a great scorer as well, averaging 20 plus in college and potentially in the NBA as well. So they may have 3 of the top 5 or maybe 3 of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft coming up next summer. So they just have
That'll be the first time, right?
Yeah,
somebody went 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
from the same college
It's
team.
never happened before.
Corey,
so.
Jay, I'm trying to understand what you were saying about the comparisons. Are you trying to say that
I'm saying
RJ Barrett is going to be?
I'm saying he has potential to be
better than James?
Yeah, he has potential to be a superstar in this league. Like MVP caliber player in the NBA. That's what I'm saying. I still think he's at this point in their careers when they both was in college. I think RJ Barrett is better than what James Harden was. Now that doesn't mean he's going to be a better NBA player than James Harden or reach the heights that James Harden has reached. But I think he's definitely capable with the talent that he has and his ability. As both a two-way player, he has nice size. You know, he can score in a variety of different ways. So I really like RJ Barrett's game. I understand everybody obsessed with Zion Williamson because of his athletic freak of nature, but RJ Barrett can be just as good, if not better, NBA player. I think.
Here's the question: would you choose him number 1 over Zion?
I think it depends on the team, man. Now I know people might kill me for that, but what position does Zion play? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We don't know what he's gonna. He's about 6'6", I guess. 280. Is he a guard? Is he a forward or a power forward? I don't know. So it's hard to say where he's going to be in the NBA level.
But see, this NBA, you don't have to have a position.
Yeah,
Exactly.
his positionless, right?
Like he
It's
came
great
at the
for
perfect time because
The perfect time.
it's positionless basketball right now, so he doesn't have to have a position like back in the day. But I don't know if I could pass on him because I would regret that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know no matter what team it is, you know, it's looking like Washington has a great chance.
Yeah. Now I'm
Washington on
I'm taking
Cleveland.
Zion.
Washington on Cleveland.
I gotta take Zion just for that star power.
You got
So let's say it's the Chicago Bulls and they are.
Zion.
Woo, yeah.
All right, but they they already drafted Wendell Carter and Lloyd Markkinen.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still take
I'm
Zion?
trading one of them.
Do you still take Zion Williamson if you're the Chicago Bulls, or do you take RJ Barrett, who I think is a more natural fit at the 3? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
So I'm just saying, depending on the team,
That's a
but
good question.
you know, Zion, man, he's a special talent. He should be number 1 or number 2, depending on the team. But
College basketball is back because of this.
Yeah.
yeah,
agree
and
with
there's plenty of other talented guys out there as well, like
It is.
Nasir Little, and Kansas has some guys as well. So I'm definitely excited to watch some of these college games this year and see the potential future coming to the league in the NBA. So we're gonna move on from basketball and go towards NFL. We're about halfway through the season. I think we should start off with the Dez Bryant news that happened. Unfortunately, he had just tried to get his career back on track by joining the New Orleans Saints. I think it would have been a good fit for him. Playing with Drew Brees, he's never played with a quarterback like that. And the Saints are clicking right now. They're looking like one of the NFC favorites to me. But unfortunately for Dez Bryant, he tore his Achilles, and hopefully that's not the end of his career, but we will see. But what are you guys' thoughts on like the halfway mark of the season? What teams are kind of impressed you so far this season, and who do you think are starting to make a name for themselves as one of the contenders?
Oh man, we got to start with the obvious with the Kansas City Chiefs. You still got the Patriots going strong. No drop off there. The Steelers are starting to come back from a rough start that they had at the beginning of the season, and we also see the New Orleans Saints and the Rams atop of the NFC. So it's really there's no clear favorite for the Super Bowl this year. It's looking like it's going to be a battle. The top 4 teams in the AFC, you got to throw the Chargers in there also. So those 4 teams are going to battle it out, with the wild card teams. And then we also see in the NFC, the Falcons fell off big time from last year. The Minnesota Vikings are still kind of...
Not sold on them yet?
I'm not sold on them yet. They're up and down right now. So, as a Bears fan, we hoping that they can sneak up in there and teams take them lightly. We just saw the Panthers get whooped on by the Steelers this past week. So it's really it looks like clearly out the NFC, the Rams and the Saints, and then the AFC, the Patriots and the Chiefs. So that's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said. The one team that I'm, since we're halfway, that I'm surprised about, and they're making gains. I like the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah.
I like what Deshaun Watson is doing. He had a rocky start to start off the season.
He won 6 in a row.
Yeah, but
6 in a row.
yeah, and that's going under the radar. You know, they in a weak division because Jacksonville is not what they we thought they were. We thought Jacksonville defense would be a lot better. Their defense actually sucked.
Yeah.
Statistically, you don't have to worry about the Colts in that division. Like that division is Houston Texans to win. You know, it's the Texans to win.
Yep.
And I think they're going to sneak up on one of those powerhouses, whether it be Pittsburgh, the Patriots, or the Chiefs. I think the Texans are capable of beating them in a one-game, playoff game. And eliminating one of those big teams. Now, as far as the NFC go, it's clearly the Rams and the Saints. I thought Carolina before the Pittsburgh game was like right there, like because Cam was having an amazing season. So I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was that Thursday nighter.
It's tough for the away teams on the Thursday.
It's hard to judge.
They almost lose most of the time.
And they got spanked, and they're not that bad. And Pittsburgh is not that good. They're not that good.
I agree.
And also as a Bears fan, I would love to see the Bears. One thing I will say, and this NFC North related, I'm eliminating the Packers. I think the Packers suck. Now I love Aaron Rodgers. But I think the Packers are done. And I'm saying
they gave up.
Right, I'm saying it before anybody said like they're done. In
Once
my
they
opinion.
traded Clinton Dix,
I think the Packers are done. Like all they have is Aaron Rodgers. That's a lot to have, but
it's a lot to have.
I believe their defense is not that good, and if Aaron Rodgers is not like 100% on his game, they're gonna lose. Seeing them against the Patriots, man, they just fell apart. Like the game was there for the taking, and they just fell apart like quickly and just collapsed. So I'm eliminating the Packers. I'm eliminating the Lions, and I believe the Bears can win that division, but it depends on Minnesota because I do see Minnesota rising. I think they're getting better and they're getting healthier, and I'm a little bit afraid of what Minnesota got coming this second half.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Will said, I think the division for the NFC North is between the Bears and the Vikings. If the Bears can split that division matchup with the Vikings, I think they win the division.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The Bears got a pretty. They have a lot of division games coming up. They still play the Lions twice. They still play the Vikings twice, and they got a home game against the Packers, which is winnable.
I agree with all that.
But outside of the division games, their schedule is pretty weak. They play the 49ers.
They got the Giants.
They play the Giants. So I think they just got to take care of business within their division.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears, a team who nobody thought would win the division before the season, they have a chance to win the division. And we forgetting Khalil Mack is coming back this week, and Allen Robinson is coming back. So I think we kind of underrating the Bears a little bit as one of those sleeper teams that nobody may not want to play.
Nobody want to play.
Mitch is inconsistent.
Yeah, now Mitch, he's still young. He got a lot of growing to do.
He's missing a lot of wild throws. But if he could just be 50% on those throws, man, a lot of teams would be getting blown out.
No, do anybody believe in the Redskins?
No.
I
honestly believe the Eagles are going to win that division. Like, I don't even believe the Redskins. Redskins are.
They better start now then, because the season is getting late. And
they only one game behind the Redskins, and the Redskins are devastated by injuries. Like, their whole offensive line is out. They got injuries on the defense, so I think that's Philly's to lose. Man.
I agree. And they added Golden Tate. So
they did. They got
that's a hell of a pickup for the Eagles to help out Carson Wentz. I think they're going to get better in the second half of the season. But also, what Will said about the Texans, they on a 6-game winning streak. They added Demaryius Thomas at the trade deadline.
I forgot about that.
Man, that's a hell of a pickup. So
if he don't be dropping passes,
but that's a huge weapon for Deshaun Watson. They already had the DeAndre Hopkins, so Thomas is going to get a lot of
ball in the fourth too.
Yep. So Thomas is going to get a lot of one-on-one action from that. So hell of a pickup for the Texans. I said, like I said about the Bears, I think they can win the NFC North. And I think the Eagles, I agree with Ilby, I think the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. over the Redskins. I'm not. We all know the Cowboys. I don't believe in the Cowboys. So I'm going to get them out of here right now. I think it's between the Redskins and the Eagles, but I'm going to pick the Eagles because I really like Golden Tate and what he brings to that team. And they were the Super Bowl champs last year, so I think they put together a nice run.
So y'all don't think the pick? I actually like the connection that Dak had with Cooper in the first half. Now the second half they didn't work as well in that game. I think Dallas can do a lot better than what they doing.
Yeah, see, I like Cooper, but I don't like Dak. Yeah. It's something going on with Dak, man.
And Jason Garrett, that's what it really is.
It's something going on. He's not throwing that ball down the field, man. He hesitating. He getting sacked. He holding on to the ball too long. It's not even the offensive line. It's Dak Prescott. For some reason, man, he's gun shy, and maybe he's not getting the coaching that he really needs to, progress, man. But it's something off about Dak this year, man.
What about the running game?
But I like Cooper, though.
Yeah, we know Ezekiel Elliott is one of the top 5 running backs in the league.
It's not doing it this year.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys O-line is kind of took. Yeah,
they run twice.
The plan is to start.
They run twice, and then they throw it on third down, man. Like, that's all they do, man.
Everybody knows who's getting the ball. Zeke is getting the ball every time, and they know it. So
they run twice, then they throw it, man. They put all game. I was like, when they gonna switch it up? Like, when they gonna just come out and fool somebody and throw on the first down? They did, man. Yeah, Jason Garrett, that's another coach.
Jason Garrett has to go. One of these days, Jerry Jones gonna have to let his mans go.
Yeah, he got
and give it to Jason Garrett. Well, the Cowboys gonna keep being mediocre if we gonna be honest.
He gotta go, man.
But in NFC South, but clearly the Saints. They're the head of that division. But I do think the Panthers can squeeze in one of them wild card spots.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah. I still think Cam was going to help that team get to the playoffs. And moving to the AFC, Patriots clearly the leader of their division with the Dolphins and Jets and Bills. So they're definitely one of the favorites coming out the AFC in the conference championship game. And the Chiefs, they scary, man. I know everybody's talking about Drew Brees MVP, but my MVP is Patrick Mahomes. This dude is special.
It's between those two players to me.
I think Gurley's in the conversation too.
Yeah, Gurley.
I don't think he's going to get it because they gave it to Brady last year when Gurley should have got it. But Gurley, he's still in the conversation, but it's going to be between the quarterbacks, I think, between Brees and Mahomes.
And Brees has never gotten one.
Never had MVP.
Wow.
Oh, really?
No,
I didn't know that. I thought he won a
So
Super Bowl. He win in 07?
He never won MVP. Damn. So they might give it to him off of that.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him.
At the end of his career, they feel like this is
Right, they're going to be like, he, 21, 22?
Yeah. So I feel like the media is pushing for Drew Brees right now.
Cheat him, man.
But Patrick Mahomes is having the best year of any player.
Might not never get it again.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, man, they loaded with that offense.
Yeah, that offense is ridiculous.
Now, in the playoffs, I'm a little concerned with their defense. I don't know if they're going to hold up against some of the Patriots
they
or
didn't make no
moves.
moves either.
Yeah.
Is the trade deadline over?
It's already over.
Yeah, it's over.
So the offense is really good, but the defense is a question mark for the Chiefs. But it's definitely going to be interesting. But if you guys had to make a Super Bowl pick, what would it be?
That's a hard question.
For me, I got the Saints and the Patriots in the Super Bowl matchup. I just think the Saints are going to meet the Rams, and I think the Saints just have enough offense to overpower the Rams defense. You know, they've been having a lot of injuries this year with Talib being out and stuff. But
if they keep picking on Marcus Peters, like Sean Payton, you saw what Peter said.
He's mad that Sean Payton.
Keep talking.
But the Saints is loaded, man. So they would be my Super Bowl pick out of the NFC right now. And then I think the Patriots will just do just enough. I think they got better defense than the Chiefs. So I would take Belichick in that situation.
I don't want to see them.
And a Drew Brees Brady matchup. But what do you guys think? Super Bowl picks?
I'm more of leaning towards the Chiefs over the Patriots. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb on this. I'm saying whoever the Patriots play on their first playoff game, they're gonna lose. Because I see glaring weaknesses on their defense.
Yeah.
Like the Patriots defense is horrible, in my opinion. They have no pass rush. Their linebackers have lost a step, and then they don't have any secondary besides McCourty and the safety.
They got
McCourty.
Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore.
The safety McCourty. But Gilmore he's not a lockdown to me. Like, he's getting paid like a lockdown, but he's not a lockdown to me. The only one I like on the Patriots defense is McCourty. Hightower. And I think they have glaring weaknesses on defense. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Patriots because I believe Andy Reid has schemed them up offensively, and he does pretty well against Belichick. And then on the NFC side, I'm gonna stick with the Rams because that game they played against New Orleans, I believe they could get a better pass rush. Because they got Aaron Donald, and then they picked up Fowler. That was his first game. I think the pass rush is going to be better, and then it sounds crazy, I think their offense is going to be better. Cooper Kupp, he just came back. He got to get back in football shape. And I think he can create mismatch for the Saints because I don't think the Saints' defense is top notch. I think they have some weaknesses in their defense. Yeah. So I'm going with Kansas City and the Rams.
Okay. How about you, Kirk?
Well, the Saints did pick up Eli Apple. He wasn't that good with the Giants, but who knows? Yeah, he's average cornerback. But and we forget that the Falcons did pick up Irvin from the Raiders. The
pass rush. Yeah, he's going to play.
That's a good pick.
They needed that, though.
They needed that. That could put them back.
They needed that.
They could
They're
put
not
them
that far off, though.
They're not that far.
They got to go on the
from
run.
the wild card.
On offense, they clicked
weapons
with Ridley and
Julio and
that back Smith.
Because right now, the two wild card spots is the Seahawks and the Panthers right now.
I say the Panthers stand.
I think the Vikings.
So the Panthers stand.
Might be up in there too.
So the Vikings is behind the Seahawks right now.
They got a better record. Seahawks are 4-4. Vikings.
Oh, now
5-3.
Oh, so they switched. So the Vikings is in the wild card.
Oh, yeah. Vikings 5-3-1. Ain't they?
Okay, so at first it was the Seahawks. At first it was.
I didn't know the Seahawks was up there though.
Seahawks we playing better.
They got the same record as the Eagles.
So like you said. Whoever plays these wild card teams, these wild card teams be knocking people off. Yeah. I don't know if the Patriots can get knocked off by a wild card. I'm not sure, but I think if it's Deshaun Watson, you know what I'm saying? If that matchup was to happen, I would love that matchup because he almost beat them a couple years ago. Last year he almost beat them.
He has more weapons now too. So.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true.
Definitely.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, I love to see that. Yeah. But NFL MVP, who's you guys pick? I got Mahomes, even though I think Breeze gonna get it.
I got Breeze because I really think he's due for an MVP. He deserves one, and Patrick Mahomes deserves it too. But if I have to put money on it, I would have to go with Drew Brees.
Yeah, it's between Drew Brees, Pat Mahomes, Gurley, and I'm gonna throw J.J. Watt in there too, man. Look, J.J. Watt. If you go look at his statistics, man, J.J. Watt is amazing. I didn't think he was gonna be this good, like coming off of back surgery, but J.J. Watt is my sleeper, man. He has 9.5 sacks.
He had a good year. Yeah.
And Aaron Donald too. J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald.
I think
I gotta throw two defensive players.
Aaron Donald got more sacks than him.
He got 10. I would put Donald for defensive player. He got going with Donald, but
Donald has 10. Watt has 9.
And for the I saw the ESPN mid-season awards. They gave it to Mac. For the first 4 games.
He been hurt though. I think Mac was on pace.
Okay,
he was on pace to win it.
I agree with that. Before he got
2
hurt.
games, he kind of hurt.
So, but he still got
he got a chance
to get it, but he's behind. He's behind.
Right
now. He got to play catch up.
Yeah,
it's been some good defensive performers. Von Miller. Yeah, what's the rookie that's with Miller? Chubb. Chubb is having a good year, man.
Quietly.
Good year. Like I was surprised to see his statistics.
Broncos, we know the defense is really good, but
so maybe Watt defensive player of the year or Donald, but MVP is probably gonna go to Breeze. I didn't know he didn't win one in his career, so he's gonna be the sentimental favorite. They're gonna be like, oh, just give it to him,
Yeah, I agree with that.
And they gonna cheat Mahomes, man. Knowing Mahomes is on pace to be the MVP by far.
His numbers is crazy.
If Mahomes was Peyton Manning, he would automatically get the MVP.
Definitely.
If his name was Manning. Pat Manning.
I got a question for Rookie of the Year. That's the big question because they a lot of people at ESPN been fighting over between Ridley and Saquon, and then some people even try to throw Baker in there, which I don't think Baker. I don't think Baker Mayfield is.
That's laughable.
That's what they said. That's what
Baker Mayfield.
They had him third right
now.
Might
as well put Nick Chubb in that too.
But between Ridley and Saquon, who do y'all think
Well,
is?
I think clearly Saquon is the best rookie I've seen this year. I know the Giants haven't had a lot of success, but I've contributed a lot of that to Eli Manning, and them need to move on from him. But Barkley, he's special to me. To me, he's already a top 5 running back. That might be
Already.
He's already a top 5
I
running
agree
back.
with that.
He can catch the ball, he can run the ball. And
I agree.
he always, if you watch the film with him, he always makes the first guy miss.
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
It's kind of Barry Sanders-esque, man. He's
That's
a
true.
special player to me. So Barkley to me should be the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I agree with Barkley. Yeah, that's a
The
no-brainer.
legs, his-
Yeah, he got tree trunks, man.
Yeah, defense rookie of the year, it'd be Bradley Chubb for me.
Yeah.
The Broncos, but do you guys have anybody else?
Yeah, I agree. He's feeding off of playing with Von Miller, man. And, yeah, I wouldn't have anything different from that.
Oh, well, y'all wouldn't give Roquan Smith no votes, man.
He hasn't been bad.
He's starting to come along. He's starting to come
He's second
along.
on the team in tackles, like 3 tackles behind
He's going to have to
Trevathan.
have a great second half, like a great second
He
half.
got like
And
60 tackles.
If
right
he
there.
has a great second half, because I think the first couple games he was just trying to, make up for missing training camp, and he was like clueless, didn't know what was going on. But he's getting a lot better. I like him.
And whoever he hit go backwards. That's what I've been
that's true.
seeing. I was like,
Yeah, he can tackle for sure.
That is true. I agree with that.
So what trade deadline move do you think would have the biggest impact? We had Golden Tate to the Eagles, Demaryius Thomas to the Texans,
Cooper
Dante Fowler joined the Rams.
I ain't seen him do nothing.
Cooper
yet.
to the Cowboys. Which one of those guys you think would have the biggest impact on a new team?
I think it's going to be Cooper because only just seeing that one game that he played with Dallas, how they were trying to force feed him. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know Cooper was an excellent route runner like that. Like,
Yeah.
He's
he has great change of pace where he has quickness out of his break. And he's strong, too. So I think Cooper, based on how Dallas is going to try to use him, because the rest of their receivers, man, I can't name one except for Cole Beasley and Amari
Allen
Cooper.
Hurns.
So,
But let me say one thing. Before I move on,
And Gallup, Michael Gallup is good.
the rookie, yeah.
Number 13.
do you guys think Dallas gave up too much for Amari Cooper? Because they did give him a first round pick. If you look at the other receiver,
But you know what? Cooper,
he's young though.
Wasn't Cooper a first round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he's like 24 years
Yeah,
old.
he's
Like,
the youngest out of the guys that was traded. But
I-
Patriots got Josh Gordon for a fifth. Tate went for what, the 3rd or 4th round or something like
see,
that.
because Josh Gordon had a lot of risk associated with him, so I can see why. But he and look, he only gonna get better during the year. You
He's
know what I'm
slower
saying?
than he used to be, though.
Right,
he don't
slow.
look
Man,
heavy.
he's
I'm
slow as
like,
hell, and he's killing though.
He's slow as hell. I was like,
He's not even running full speed, man.
What's wrong with these defenders out here, man?
But I think
he got talent, bro.
Yeah, and he's still young, right? He's like 26 or something. Like, man, that boy.
He old young.
Yeah.
He got a lot of miles on his body, though. You just gotta give him.
Oh, dope, man.
Yeah. So y'all okay with the first round pick for Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it was
okay with it.
Cooper was a first round pick.
Because you're going to go find nobody as good as Cooper in the first round.
right in
Like
this
the
draft
receivers,
that's coming up. I agree with that.
Unless we get a shocker, like.
And Dallas was gonna take a receiver.
Oh, yeah,
in the
they was
first
gonna
round.
take a receiver,
So
yeah.
I like the first round for Cooper.
What do you think, Kurt, Chris? As far as trade deadline, what team you think would benefit most between Tate, Cooper, Demaryius Thomas, and Fowler?
Yeah, my answer is the same with Amari Cooper. Now, like y'all said, I didn't know that the Texans had a 6-game win streak. I don't have a lot of faith in Demaryius Thomas. He's been dropping passes a lot for the past 3 years.
For the past 3 years.
Past 3 years, so I mean, that could go either way. But if I'm gonna put my money on somebody, it's gonna be Amari Cooper. Them routes I saw,
Man, it was spectacular.
spectacular. Yeah.
I agree with you both. I agree with Cooper for the long term impact. He's gonna I think the Cowboys are going to pay him his money and everything. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
extend his contract. But for the rest of the season, I like Golden Tate.
Philly,
Helping the Eagles out. I think he can help them get back to the playoffs. And as a Bears fan, I'm happy that the Lions gave him up.
I am so happy.
We play the Lions this weekend, as a matter of fact.
I'm
So
so happy about that.
not having Golden Tate is great for us.
great.
He's a sneaky good receiver, man. He's quietly had 1,000 yards these last 3 or 4 years, and one of the top receivers in catches every year. So I'm a Golden Tate fan. Even though sometimes he showboats, with his move before the end zone before he scored a touchdown. But I think he's going to help the Eagles out tremendously. Adding him with Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Zach Ertz. And Carson Wentz, he was once MVP favorite last year before he got hurt. So I think he's still working his way back into form. But like I said, with the Eagles, I think they're gonna come back and win that division. So
I agree with that. 100%.
I think Golden Tate's gonna have a big impact.
But it's something to me that's missing with the Eagles, like you said, and maybe this trade is going to
They need a
fulfill
running
that.
back.
They needed somebody that was hungry though, to who wants a Super Bowl because they won it last year.
That's true. They got
All
that
these
hangover.
cats is just fat and happy, and they just talking smack, and they ain't playing no football. So they need some players in that locker room who hasn't won, who's thirsty and hungry for the trophy. And like you said, they do need a running back. It would have been very smart for them to go after Le'Veon, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's
I don't
going to
understand
kill
that.
them.
I don't understand.
I don't
Well,
think.
Let me say one thing. Le'Veon couldn't be traded because he never signed a franchise tender, right?
Right.
That's the NFL rule. So if he would have signed a tender, then I'm on board with the Steelers trading Le'Veon. But the Eagles couldn't even trade for him because he's not on the contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they couldn't get Le'Veon. But
Yeah.
But they could have worked out like the
Coulda
Bears
did-
did the Mac thing. All right, look,
Yeah.
we gonna bring you to Philly. Just sign a tender, and we got a deal in place.
Exactly.
They could have worked that out. Like I don't understand why they didn't put effort. They might have put an effort in, but it probably was a low ball. Like we'll give you a 5th round pick or something.
Right.
But man, I would have went all out.
All out.
Said
To repeat for a shot at repeating.
Yeah, that's what
And
they need.
so,
Le'Veon
I don't
Bell,
know.
right?
I don't know if this Golden Tate move. I don't know if this Golden Tate move gonna be enough. But like you said, Corey J, it's a great thing for the Bears to get Golden Tate out of the NFC
and
North
Clinton Dix.
and hire Clint Dix.
Yeah, it's great for the
because
Bears.
these are players that has usually annually destroyed the Bears.
Yes.
We struggle with the receiver that makes yards after the catch, like Randall Cobb. He destroys the Bears. Every time we play the Packers, he's the MVP. Like Randall Cobb, Golden Tate, people like that.
Yep.
And even number 88 that the Packers cut. Montgomery killed the Bears. I'm like, man.
Look, running and catching the ball.
Running in, catching the ball. Man, I think he got 150 yards on his rushing one time.
Yeah.
I said, man,
Last
this
year.
dude was Superman.
Last year, man.
I'm glad he gone. Thank you, Baltimore.
Baltimore, right?
Thank you, Baltimore.
No, Aaron Rodgers
Woo.
pounding and getting him
My
out
God.
for fumbling. And stuff.
So, but they still got Randall Cobb, so we might lose that game. I don't know.
Well, I think hopefully with us being at home, they can channel something together.
Be killing us, man. Oh my God.
Bears been struggling a lot this season with those little screen pass receivers.
Yeah, they've been.
They lost a couple games this year because of that. The Dolphins game with Albert Wilson.
Man, that dude is a ball. I remember when he was on Kansas City, he was weak. That dude was trash.
Yeah, like
And Brock Osweiler has never lost against the Bears.
Yeah, I know. He's 3-0.
He's
right?
3
He's
in.
3-0.
I'm like, why can't we beat Brock?
I don't know what it is with them short receivers that just go out, they catch the ball and go after the play, but
Brock.
the Bears were struggling with that this year. So hopefully that won't be their downfall to get into the playoffs.
Oh, man. I just know whenever we face Brock again, I'm not watching the game. I can't do it, man.
At least we didn't lose to Nathan Peterman. If we lost that game, I would have lost.
Trash, man.
And they actually, the Bills are starting Matt Barkley this week, so
He just got that, didn't he?
Right. I ain't gonna,
That's how you know how bad.
like, I thought he was out the league.
He just came back to the league.
They just can't sign Cap, but you can sign Matt Barkley, man.
This dude was pumping gas up there. Hey man, you think Matt Barkley? Like,
They brought back Derek Anderson.
he like,
They brought back Derek Anderson.
Sure.
Y'all remember?
yeah,
They had Derek Anderson, but with him, so I'm like, they was trying to get anybody but Cap, but you
You
know.
can't get Cap, but this dude,
We-
Matt
we
Barkley
understand.
is for the start. Like, man, it's crazy. It's
The
crazy.
Bills deserve everything they get for choosing to sign.
Hey, man, can you throw the football?
I think they were better off playing Terrell Pryor at quarterback.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, they got him. Don't
Yeah, they got Terrell Pryor.
I'll try that out.
They might as well
Yeah,
play
but I
Terrell
was
Pryor.
so glad that we beat them because the receiver that used to be with Cam, the tall,
Oh, Kelvin Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin was out
yeah,
here.
he was talking stuff.
The dude talking smack to Fuller, and then he fumbled the
trash.
ball. I was like, yeah, boy.
Trash, man.
The Bears defense, I think they got the best defense in the league.
I agree with that.
Eddie Jackson been playing out of his
Ooh,
mind.
he going to the Pro Bowl, man.
Him and Fuller going, both of them going.
Oh yeah, Fuller's definitely going.
Killer.
Yeah,
He
Fuller.
one of like the
Eddie
top
Jackson.
corners in the league.
Trevathan's been really good.
Trevathan.
Roquan, Hakeem Hicks, and now Khalil Mack's coming back. Everybody.
Khalil can make it if he.
Now, do you think
ball
they
out
should get Irvin a chance over Leonard Floyd, like number 47? He had a sack last.
He had a sack in garbage time.
Yeah.
though.
But he
I
was putting
still-
pressure
But
on him.
Floyd did get the interception. and
Man,
return
come on.
for-
Anybody who was stacked there was going
Yeah,
to
that was a big no. He could have dropped
No,
it.
anybody.
He could have dropped it for him.
Anybody.
He could have dropped it.
Floyd been
Anybody
kinda
was going to pick
disappointing,
that.
but,
A lot of dudes dropped that ball. I've seen a lot of people drop that ball. I've seen a lot of linemen drop that ball.
It
Seriously.
was a gimme, but
You dropped that ball.
It's encouraging though. It's encouraging. you know.
Yeah, it's encouraging.
Oh no, man.
He
This-
get him
And
going.
Bilal Nichols too.
He better get a sack. or
Bilal
something,
Nichols,
man.
I
I like him, man. But here's hopefully the Bears win the division. So I think that wraps it up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is episode 8 of the Kori J podcast. Stay tuned for the next one and the latest breaking